All right, in the last video we took a look at maps, which are a new object structure in ES6. So now I want to take a look at sets. Okay, so sets are basically unique values. It's a list of, or a set of unique values of any type, whether it's primitive or reference. Okay, and they're always unique, so you can't have the same one twice. So let me just put in here, we'll say store unique values of any type. All right, so we're going to create a variable called set1, set it to a new set. Oops. Okay. Actually, let's put parentheses there. And we want to add some values. So we'll say add values to set, and we can do that using the add method. So we can say set1.add, and let's add a number. So we'll say 100. All right, then we'll do set1.add. Let's add a string. We'll say a string. Set1.add. Let's add an object, so we'll say name John. Let's do add, and we'll do a Boolean. Okay, so we have all of these different types in our set. All right, so let's console log set1. Okay, so you can see that it actually tells us it's a set, and it has 4 different values in it. And if we look, we have our number, our string, our object, and our Boolean. Now, if I were to try to add 100 again, which is already there, and save, notice we still only have four things in this set. And it didn't add it again because it's already there. So that's what's great about sets, is that they have to be unique values. Okay, now if you don't want to add things this way, actually I'll just leave that. You could create a set. Let's do set2, and you could say new set, and you could pass in here basically an array of different things. Let's say 1 true string, and we could say console.log set2 and save, and you can see we have another set. So you can use this format or this format. All right, we're going to stick to set1 for our testing and stuff. Let's see, we can also get the size or the count by saying, just like with maps, we use the size property, so that tells us that there's 4. Now we can also check for values. So let's say console.log set1, and we can use .has for this. So we'll say has 100 and save, and we get true. All right. Now we could even do has, and then do an expression that equals 100, like 50 plus 50, and save, and again we get true. Now, one thing that you may be surprised by is that if we put an object in here and say name John and save, we get false. Okay, and if we look up here, we do have an object that has name John. You can see it even highlights at the same time. It's the exact same characters, but if you remember back to data types, this is a reference object. This is not a primitive value that's actually stored in the stack. Okay, it's stored in the heap. Which makes it a reference value. So even if we were to copy this right here and say console.log and say this object, is it equal to the same exact thing, the same object, and save, we're going to get false. Okay, because it's not. It's just it's pointing to a different location in memory. It's not a primitive type like a number or a string or a Boolean. If we were to say the string hello is equal to the string hello, then we get true, okay, because a string is a primitive value. So hopefully that makes sense. But that's why we get false when we try to check for this. All right, another thing we can do is delete from the set. Okay, so if we say set1 dot delete, and we'll pass in 100, and then console log the set, or set1, and save. You can see now we only have 3 in there and 100's not there. We can delete it using the delete method. Okay, so we can also iterate through sets. So let's go ahead and say, actually let's do a for, we'll do a for of, yeah, we'll do a for of, so we'll say for, and we'll pass in here let item of set1. All right, and then we'll just console.log item and save. And this is probably going to confuse you guys because we have so many console logs, so let me just comment these out. All right, so we'll save that, and this is what we're getting. So we're looping through, excuse me, we're getting a string, we're getting the object and the true value. The 100 isn't showing up because we still have this delete here. If I get rid of that and save, then that 100 is going to show up. Now, sets are not key value pairs, they're just single values. So we could actually do either, we could do dot values like that, and we're going to get the same thing. We can do dot keys, get the same thing, and we can do dot entries and get the same thing. Actually, entries is a little different. We're going to get an array. Actually, I've never done entries. So I guess we get an array with 2, so that's kind of strange. I don't think that you would actually use that in many cases, but it is possible. All right, so let's just get rid of that. All right, so we can also use a for each loop. Okay, so if we were to say set1 dot for each and pass in a function, we could pass in an arrow function and say value console.log value and save, and you can see it's looping through those values. All right, and just like with maps, we can convert sets into arrays. So for that, let's do const set array, and we'll set that to array dot from, pass in set1, and let's say console.log set array and save, and now we have an array of the things that are in our set. All right, so just another option, another object structure that we can use now with ES6 Plus. Hopefully this helped you guys out, helped you understand what a map and a set is. So that's it, guys, and I will see you in the next video.